my latest gadget purchase. This is the Hammerhead 4-volt lithium hand drill, or hand screwdriver, electric screwdriver. Forward, reverse, it's got lights, it's got electricity detection. So if you put it near something that puts out power, it'll beep and the light will flash, including battery power. So if I put it near a powered USB cable, it usually does the same thing. I guess not. I guess there has to actually be a load. But it's nice. And the reason I bought it was because it takes micro USB charging, which means I don't need a special cable. I can use any cable I want and it'll power this thing. It also has a wire bender, so you can stick a wire through here and then bend the wire. It's for like heavy household wiring. And then also it had, oh that's right, I have to press this. Yeah, so here, this is actually drawing power because it's a cordless phone. So if I press this, as you can see, it can detect that power draw. It's pretty cool. Obviously, that's not much power. It's 3 volts. It also has a wire stripper. So there's a blade edge in there. You put your wire in there. It's got 3 notches, and you just squeeze and pull, and you can strip your wires. So really, really nice. Now, the other thing I was wondering is, you always hope, and usually it doesn't happen, but in this case it does happen. What kind of battery is inside of this, and can you change it? The shocking answer is yes, you can change the battery in this. Remove these 6 screws, remove this 1 screw, and remove the 2 screws holding this together. I've already removed most of them to speed this process up a little bit. And this is the real gem, the fact that you can actually replace the battery in this. There are a couple springs, so you do need to be careful. It's a very long screw. Okay. All right, the first step is pretty easy. Just so you can see, here are the screws. They're all the same. You got 2 long ones. Those are the ones that hold the blue nose on. The one little short one goes through the side of this, and the others hold the main shell together. This just pops off. This is your sensor for detecting current, so be careful. The hardest part is, see, this moves now. Okay, so all of this has to come off in order to let you split this apart, okay? Because this moves all the way up to here. So you have to get this off, and this is tricky because it is just big enough to get over top of this bearing unit right here, and you don't want to rip this off. So you got to be nice and gentle, get it partway over, and you just work it off. There we go. And then this comes out. Make sure you don't damage that spring. Here's where this thing is actually serviceable. Thank you so much, Hammerhead, whoever makes this. I think it's a Lowe's name brand. I'm not sure. Let's see what it says. It doesn't actually say who makes it, so Hammerhead might be their own brand, but please continue to do stuff like this. It is really appreciated. As you can see, this pulls up, and that is a plug that you can unplug. And if you ever damage this, it doesn't ruin the screwdriver. You just lose your lights and you lose your sensing, but it'll still continue to function. Now, this will pull up. It just pulls out. It's omnidirectional. Actually, it's not. You're going to want to line up the side with the hole, with that hole there. It links these 2 pieces together. And then this slides off. Now, here's where you got to be careful. There are springs inside of here that reset this so that when this turns, oops, sorry. So when you turn this handle, let me show you. That's how you activate it. Well, there's springs in here that push this back, and you don't want to lose those. So this comes apart, nice and gentle, so you don't lose your springs. I think this is the half that I want. You want to keep the thing together. Yeah. There we go. You don't want all this to fall apart if you don't know how to put it back together again. These springs right here you need to be careful with. Notice something familiar. That's right, folks. That is a standard 18650 cell. So not only can I replace this cell, I could even upgrade it if I want to. This is a 1300 milliamp. Does it give a rating? No rating, just 1300 milliamp cell. Brand new, at least, July 5th of 16. Looks like date code there. You could also replace this with a Samsung 2500 milliamp cell and almost double the capacity of this unit. As you see that, there's the plug. I'm guessing that is the plug that runs up to this plug here for your sensor and your LED lights. But yes, this is replaceable. So in a few years, when your performance starts to die down, you can replace the battery in this. So you put your two halves back together, slide this back on. Then when you put this back on, you want to make sure that this hole lines up with this hole here. Just make sure it's on this side. Get your cable in there. There you go. Now we slide the circuit board on. Hold it here. Plug your wire back in. There we go. Get that down that hole there. Now here's the tricky part. You got to get this back on without damaging it. So that is your opening to get your spring in there. Okay, your sensing wire. The trick is to get it over this bearing unit without tearing that spring off. So you kind of got to wiggle it. There we go. And then this just sits inside this. There's no socket for it. That's it. You put your screws back in. If I don't lose that other screw, almost. It tried to run. Fucking screws always go. Sorry, these screws go everywhere. And that's it. One's enough to hold everything together, but you put your little one here. You put your 6 screws back in here. Make sure this is still in there. And you're done. This thing is absolutely amazing. If you go to Lowe's right now, you can get this for $9.88, $10. It is a USB wire cutter lit, forward reversible, 4-volt lithium, circuitry live sensing, USB rechargeable screwdriver that you can actually successfully take apart without destroying and replace or upgrade the battery. That thing is cool. I wish more manufacturers would do that.